Shalom guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck. Now, Passover is amongst us. The Jewish holiday of celebrating freedom from Pharaoh and liberation. It's the holiday where everyone likes to drink lots of wine around the table. It's called the Seder. We tell the story of Passover. Now, one of the key things about Passover, if you keep, Passover in your home, is you don't eat bread, during that period of time of Passover. You would eat unleavened bread, also known as matzah. Matzah is spelled different ways, by the way. I've seen it spelled M-A-T-Z-A, and then with an H at the end, and I've seen it spelled M-A-T-Z-O, and sometimes with an H at the end of the O. But I always just spell it M-A-T-Z-O, because I feel like most brands do. And look at this one. I got the Manischewitz. Any brand of matzah is going to work, by the way. You're going to use any kind you like. And here we go. Here's a board of matzah. Now, matzah sometimes can have a bad rap for being like this bland, blah thing. And it almost looks like it's like perforated. It's like all these little, lines here. And again, it's unleavened bread. And the significance of this is because when the Jews were let go by Pharaoh, they ran because apparently this guy liked to change his mind a lot, and he might at any second say, never mind, I changed my mind, you're back here, you have to work for me again, and you have to be enslaved. But they ran. So got out of there as fast as possible. And when they did that, they didn't have time to make their bread rise. You know what I mean? They didn't have the yeast in there, so it remained flat and unleavened, hence matzah. Now, it's perforated, and it's kind of like whatever looking, but let me tell you something. There are secrets to making this stuff amazing. First of all, they sell multiple different flavors of matzah. This is egg and onion. They also have everything matzah. They have plain matzah. They have gluten-free matzah. It's a whole marvelous world of matzah out there. But one of the best things you can make with matzah is something called Matzo Brei, B-R-E-I, like almost like the nickname for Brian, except you wouldn't really spell that B-R-E-I, but Matzo Brei, okay? And now Matzo Brei can either be done sweet or savory, and I am doing it savory. And to me, a savory Matzo Brei is essentially a Jewish omelet. Because we're gonna take some matzah, we're gonna soak it, we're gonna break it up, we're gonna saute and brown an onion, and then we're gonna add this to the pot with the onion and some butter, and then we're gonna add some eggs over there, and then we're gonna do like a little scramble. And then once we marry everything together, this boring old piece of matzah here becomes Matzo Brei. Now, by the way, one of my favorite things to do is I love to snack on some matzah, and watch what I like to do. This is a total side note. I then like to take some, I can't believe it's not butter spray. And by the way, this stuff has 0 calories. If you look at the nutrition information, there's nothing in it, like at all. Like literally, no sodium, no fat, no carbs, no protein, no calories. And 1,130 sprays per container, and this is 8 fluid ounces. I use this is the garlic flavored butter, they have regular one. I love to just spray it on my matzah. Delicious snack. Any time of year. This is probably one of my favorite snacks ever. I do it all time of the year. I don't just do it like during Passover. But I digress. My friends, if you've never had it before, it's time for me to introduce my version of a Matzo Brei into your kitchens. And I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be saying, oh me, oh my, when you make this Matzo Brei. Let's do it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take 2 boards of matzah. You can use any matzah of your choice. And I want to now rinse it under the sink, each board, for about 20 seconds on each side under warm or hot water. We're going to make sure that it's not super strong, the flow, just like that's perfect. So again, 20 seconds on each side. Okay, and I've just rinsed it for 20 seconds on each side, and you see it might break apart. Like that, that's fine. We're gonna have it break apart anyway. So just let this rest on a plate right now, your matzah, and then we'll come back to it in a bit, all right? Perfect. Now I'm gonna set a skillet or frying pan or saute pan, a nice sized one, a large one, to your stovetop, and I wanna set the heat to medium high. And to that, I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and we're gonna let that heat up for about 3 minutes. Okay, and once our oil's heated in the pan, I'm going to take a sweet or a Vidalia onion. You could also use a yellow onion or a Spanish onion, but honestly, I prefer a sweet onion for this. And I'm gonna dice it up and I'm gonna add it to the pot. I mean, pan, this is a pan, not a pot. And then I'm gonna saute my onion in the pan with the oil. And this is gonna be one of those situations where it's gonna take a little bit of time, but you can walk away and every few minutes just come back and stir up the onion. To me, the flavor base from a savory Matzo Brei is all about the onion. It comes from that onion. Onion is a big thing in Jewish cooking, be it Matzo Brei, the foundation for kasha varnishka, for chopped liver. All right, and after about 10 minutes, we're browning our onion here. You see how nice we're looking? Lovely. We're gonna take care of a little bit of other prep. Now I have my matzah that I've soaked up, my 2 boards, and now what I wanna do is I just kind of wanna break it into pieces like this. Just rip it up. It's gonna feel a little bit mushy and a little bit soggy, but it shouldn't be to the point where it's gonna become pulp, you know? Okay, and I've ripped it up into bite-sized pieces like such, just like this. Great, we're gonna set that aside, and now we're gonna focus on our eggs. What I wanna do is I wanna take 4 large eggs, crack them into a bowl. I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, or you can use half and half, or even whole milk, or 2%, or skim, whatever. I prefer heavy cream, as well as a half a teaspoon each of seasoned salt. I use the Lowry's brand, and black pepper. And then we're gonna get in there and we're gonna whisk this up to really make sure that our eggs become light and airy. Be a little bit of aggressive with this whisk. All right, you see that? We're looking good now. We're a little bit airy and bubbly there. Perfect. All right, back to the pan now. We have our onion. We almost want it to have like a charred experience here. And I've done this for about 15 minutes. That looks good. I love the onion with a little bit of a char on it with my Matzo Brei. Okay, now to the pan, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons or a 1/4 stick of salted butter. Stir that around and make sure that it becomes melted. Okay, and once the butter's melted, we're now gonna add in our matzah that we've crumbled up. And we're gonna saute the matzah in the butter and onions for about another 2 minutes. All right, and once the matzah's a bit toasted and slightly crunchy, we are ready to add our eggs. I'm gonna reduce the heat to low, and then I'm going to pour in my egg mixture right over the matzah. And now alternatively, you can also add some chives. I'm adding about a bunch of them that I'm just gonna put inside. I love chives. Save some for topping if you want. And then after about 30 to 45 seconds of our egg resting, we're gonna get under there with a silicone spatula and then just stir everything up. Again, it should be on low, and then everything's going to combine and come together in this Matzo Brei. Basically, we're gonna do this for about a minute. You can even remove the pan from the heat because the heat of the pan is gonna cook the egg. Just wanna keep an eye on it because we don't wanna overdo it here. And if you even wanted to in this moment, you could add in some shredded cheese. That's not conventional to a Matzo Brei, but really you can do whatever you want. Because there's also sweet variations of this where you'd use like cinnamon and sugar and maple syrup. Okay, and after about a minute and my egg is all cooked, I'm gonna kill the heat completely and I'm gonna remove my pan from the stove. And there is my Matzo Brei. Looking beautiful, gorgeous, just how I like it. If you want to, you could add some more chives on top. Totally up to you. But this to me looks completely irresistible and I cannot wait to try it. So let's do it. Okay, my friends, and there it is, Matzo Brei. And my favorite part of every video is tasting what I just made. Here we go. Now, if this doesn't remind me or take me back to my childhood memories in a Jewish household, nothing will. This is delicious. Now, if you want to serve this with some sour cream on top, or French onion dip, or maple syrup, whatever you want to do, you 100% can. There are no rules. To me, this tastes like, it's essentially a Jewish omelet, you know? You got the eggs in here with matzah mixed into it. Nice toasted matzah, and you got that nice browned onion. However long you want to brown your onion is completely up to you, by the way. If you want it a little more crunchy and a little less brown, go for less time when you're sauteing it. If you want it to be more browned, like how I like it in this dish, go a little longer so it becomes a little bit charred. Totally up to you there. You can really saute your onion anywhere between like 5 to 15 minutes. But, this is the real deal. Real deal. Jewish breakfast, Matzo Brei, savory style. My friends, if you enjoyed this recipe and you want really, really simple ones to go along with it, well, I've written a bunch of cookbooks As of now, there are 4 of them out there. All amazing recipes, all for the Instant Pot, which this recipe is not in. And every single one of my recipes, by the way, has beautiful step-by-step color photos, as well as a final shot of every recipe in a timing bar, so there's no guesswork. Look at this, a Jewish guy making hot and sour soup. Come on, you know how, especially me, this Jewish guy loves his Asian cuisine, especially hot and sour soup. But my next cookbook coming out is called Pastabilities, and while this dish wouldn't be in it because there's no pasta involved, I do have a few classic Jewish pastas that are in the book, like kasha varnishkas, which are bow ties and buckwheat groats. It's delicious, with caramelized onions, as well as kugel, or noodle pudding. That's like a sweet, almost Jewish cheesecake, but made with egg noodles. Amazingness. But what's similar in Pastabilities to this is it's done really just in one pan. Well, in the pasta book, you'd use a pot to boil the pasta, and then a pan to make the sauce, and then you add the cooked pasta into the pan and marry it with the sauce. It's just as simple as this, though. Now, if you want to follow me on the socials, I'm mostly on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/pressurelawcooking and make sure you like the page. I also like to engage there with other people. It's a lot of fun. And at Pressure Law Cooking on all the other socials, like YouTube, make sure you subscribe there. All my video recipes live on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you so much again for watching, everybody. And the next time you want to please everybody, from Anthony to Sai, well, you don't have to wear a big old-fashioned chain with a nice gold chai to enjoy a wonderful plate of my savory Matzo Brei. Enjoy. That's good.